I was recently in a dialogue with somebody who asked the simplest question that you could probably ask an executive coach. Why does someone need a coach?
The key is to get started.
At Icon, we believe coaching is for people who want to facilitate motion in their life. There's something in the world that they want to get done, that they want to accomplish, that they want to build, and they're already moving towards it. In fact, we believe that an ideal client would probably accomplish this thing anyway, without us. What we want to do is help them get there faster. Think of it this way. Imagine you're going down the road on a journey towards something. And as you're driving along, you're moving down the road, but all of a sudden you smash into a wall. It's a brick wall, it's thick, it's big, it feels like you can't overcome it. So you try it this way, you try it this way. That's a great client because they're already in motion. What a great coach will do is help them figure out how to break through that obstacle. Think about the person who's banging their head against a wall. They're just beating their head against the wall because there's so much internal desire that they want to break through it. They want to get this done. We talk about bloody foreheads. I don't mind a client walking in with a bloody forehead. The mark on their forehead where they've been beating it against the wall, that's great. I don't want smashed in foreheads. That's way too much. But I also don't want pristine foreheads. People who are just sitting there waiting for someone to take care of the road in front of them so that they can make an easy path into success. You've heard me say it before. There is no easy button. There's only hard, but worth it, and hard and not worth it. When I see someone who's been pounding their head against the forehead to the point where they've got a little scar right there, that excites me because they understand the hard and they're not looking for the easy. What coaches do is they help people who are already going after it get there faster. How do we do that? It's about curating space, or creating an environment in which movement and growth is most likely to accelerate. That's the key. The coach's job is to curate the space, to create an environment, an ecosystem. That's the work we do. It's your job as the client to come into it and use it. Many times I look at clients who will say to me, man, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm like, do you realize that you did all the heavy lifting? Do you realize how much work you put into it? And when they stop and think about it, they'll see it. The courage it takes to activate on the kinds of exercises and experiments that a coach will design for you is extraordinary. A coach holds and curates space. The client uses it. Now, what methods do we use for that? Well, there's all kinds of tools and techniques and things like that that are boring and behind the scenes kind of stuff. But here's the basic idea. Here is primarily what we're doing. The reason somebody is stuck is because they believe something that isn't helpful. It might have been helpful. It might be the very belief that got them where they are, but it is no longer helpful to get them where they're going. And so the first thing a great coach will do is go through a process to help a client learn how to suspend their conclusions. They've built their world on a set of conclusions that they have come to, many of which are going to be valuable and useful. We're not necessarily going to erase them all or get rid of them all. We want to keep the good ones. We only want to modify some of them, and there are some that need to be eliminated. But to do that work, we have to interrogate what they believe. We have to interrogate the stories that they're telling, and we have to learn how to reframe them into more helpful ones. To do that, we start with step 1, which is to suspend conclusions. Step 2 is to help them expand their imagination. We want to help people expand what they think is possible, to believe new things. You see coaches all the time talking about mindsets and shifting mindsets. Yeah, that's the key. We think of it as moving your belief system, changing what things mean, actually going through a process of transforming what you believe internally in order to transform what you are doing externally. It's a powerful thing to expand your imagination. You cannot accomplish what you first can't picture. If you can't picture it, it doesn't exist. Even if it doesn't exist in your reality, if you can picture it in your mind, you can start to build a world where it could exist in reality. So step 2, we work to expand imaginations to include the world that you're trying to build, the things you're trying to go after. Step 3 is we want to move into that imagination. But it's scary out there. Moving beyond what you've ever done before, moving beyond what you know to be true, to be helpful, to have utility, it's always scary. And so we switch from confidence to courage to move out into our imaginations. We help clients design experiments that will move them out into that sort of known imagination that they're playing with in order to begin to experience it. Step 4 is to use those experiments that you have designed to decide if it's a good idea to keep going or not. There comes a point in every one of these journeys when we have to pull together the information we have, the experiments we've run, and you have to commit, you have to decide. It's an investment of focus, it's an investment of attention and time and money. And we want to have done good work of experimenting in this imagination before we commit to it. Once you've decided, you're gonna get some feedback, you're gonna get some results, and you have to take time to evaluate and measure those results. That's the cycle of shifting belief systems. We think that a lot of the people that we work with would figure all of that out over time. But by creating a space where we can walk you through that process faster, you get to iterate faster, you get to move faster, and you get to accomplish more. Coaching is not fundamentally about getting you somewhere you couldn't have gotten. Coaching is about getting you there faster and more effectively. So I was sitting in that meeting and I got asked this question: what is coaching for? Why would someone need a coach? And the truth is, not everyone does. There are seasons of life where you need to actually rest, where you need to focus on what you have and what you're doing at the moment. There are seasons of life where you need to heal, where you actually have to look backwards in order to create the strength and resiliency to do the work to move forward. But when it's time to get into motion, to build, to scale, to expand, it is fabulous to have someone alongside of you that has a framework and a format that can get that work done more effectively and faster. Many people come in wondering, what's the deliverable of coaching? And the deliverable is you. You showing up as the best version of yourself for the benefit of others. That's what we're after. The process is about curating a space in an ecosystem where that is going to happen in an accelerated way. A lot of people who are after business ideas think the business idea is what's important, and it's not. You are important. Ideas by themselves don't have much intrinsic value, and most of them are bad. But you and the execution of you is what creates value. And the more of that you can create, the more the world will say thank you.